What if your dog has been trying to tell you, "You're my mother," for years, and you never noticed? Most owners miss these emotional signs without realizing how deep their dog's bond truly is. And one hidden behavior could reveal the truth instantly. Number 1. The greeting nobody talks about. You walk into the room, and your dog does something most people completely misread. They don't run to you. They don't bark. They slowly stretch. Front legs extended all the way forward, back end raised, chest dropped low to the ground, and they hold it for a moment, eyes on you. People think this is just a coincidence, just a dog waking up from a nap. It isn't. This specific stretch, called a greeting bow, is one of the most deliberate physical gestures in canine communication. It is not random. It is not sleepiness. It is your dog's way of saying, "I am so glad you are here. I am showing you my chest, my softest part, in the most open position my body can make." In dog language, lowering the chest is an act of welcome and joy. They are bowing to you, not out of submission, out of pure, uncomplicated happiness that you exist and you are here. But the stretch is only the beginning. What they do with their mouth next is something most owners completely misread. Why they mouth the one they love. It barely hurts. That's the first thing you notice. They take your hand in their mouth, or your wrist, or the loose fabric of your sleeve, and they hold it there with the softest possible pressure. No aggression, no tension in their jaw, just a gentle, deliberate hold. And then they let go. This behavior has a specific name, mouthing, and it only happens with the people a dog feels completely, unconditionally safe with. Mother dogs mouth their puppies constantly. It is how they communicate closeness, how they say, "I have you. You are mine. You are safe inside this grip." When your dog mouths you, gently, carefully, like they are holding something fragile, they are not playing. They are telling you something in the oldest physical language they have. They are saying, "You belong to me, and I will never actually bite down." Now here's one that happens while you're not even in the room. And when you find out what your dog does the moment you leave your side of the bed, you'll never think of your morning the same way again. They don't want your bed. They want your spot. You get up in the morning, you're gone for 20 minutes. You come back, and your dog is not sleeping anywhere on the bed. They are sleeping in your exact spot, your pillow, your indent in the mattress, the precise place where your body was. People find this funny, but what is actually happening is not funny at all. It is one of the most touching things a dog can do. Your scent is strongest in the place where you sleep longest. And for a dog who has adopted you completely, your scent is the closest thing to having you actually present. They are not stealing your spot. They are lying inside the outline of you because it is the next best thing to you being there. It is the smell of safe. It is the shape of home. And the way your dog studies your face every time you speak. That one has a scientific explanation most people have never heard. They are trying to hear every part of you. You're talking to your dog. Maybe you're telling them about your day. Maybe you're just narrating what you're doing out loud. And they tilt their head slowly to one side, ears slightly forward, eyes completely locked on your face. You've seen this 1,000 times, and it never stops being endearing. But here is what is actually happening beneath that tilt. Dogs have a limited ability to read human facial expressions, and the muzzle partially blocks their line of sight to your mouth and lower face. When they tilt their head, they are repositioning their visual field to see your face more completely. They are trying to read you better, to catch every signal your expression gives. They are not performing cuteness. They are working, concentrating, analyzing, trying to understand you as thoroughly as their biology allows. Because what you feel and what you mean matters to them more than anything else in the room. They read your face. But there's another way your dog keeps track of you. One that involves your feet and a behavior so constant you've probably stopped noticing it entirely. They anchor themselves to you. You're standing in the kitchen. You're talking to someone. You're just existing in a room, and your dog walks over, turns around, and sits directly on top of your feet. Not beside you, not near you, on you, physically on you. This is deliberate and it is constant. Dogs who have formed this level of bond use your feet as an anchor point because your feet are the part of you closest to the ground, the part they can reach, the part they can feel move if you try to leave. It is a monitoring system and a comfort behavior at the same time. They know if your feet shift, you are going somewhere, and they want to be the first to know. They are not being clingy. They are keeping track of the most important thing in their world and doing it the only way their body knows how. But your dog's body is also mirroring yours in a way that happens completely without either of you realizing it. Their body copies yours without thinking. You yawn. You're not even paying attention to your dog. You're tired, you yawn, you keep doing whatever you were doing, and 3 seconds later, your dog yawns too. Long, slow, the whole jaw opening. People dismiss this completely. But contagious yawning is one of the most studied markers of deep emotional connection in both humans and dogs. Research published in animal cognition journals found that dogs yawn contagiously almost exclusively in response to their primary bonded human. Not strangers, not other dogs they aren't close to. Their own person. The yawn travels from your nervous system to theirs because they are so attuned to you that your body's signals become their body's signals. You are not two separate creatures in that moment. You are one shared emotional state, and it started with you, and it finished in them. Their nervous system mirrors yours, and when they want to close the distance between you, when they decide they need to touch you, they do it in a way so quiet and deliberate, most people don't even realize it's a declaration of love. The touch they initiate on their own. You're sitting quietly. You're not petting them. You're not asking for anything. And then, without any invitation, you feel a paw land on your leg, or your arm, or your hand, just the paw, resting there, heavy and warm and completely still. They don't move it. They don't ask for anything in return. They just leave it there, like they needed to make contact, and this was the most natural way they knew. Dogs extend a paw toward their bonded human the way a child reaches for a parent's hand in a crowd. Not because they need something, because the touch itself is the thing. Because connection through physical contact is how they say, I know you're there. I just wanted you to know I'm here too. That paw on your leg is one of the quietest and most complete expressions of love a dog is capable of. That paw is their way of saying, I'm here. But what happens the moment you come back after being gone, even for just a few minutes, shows you exactly how much your absence is actually felt. They greet you like you were gone for a lifetime. You were gone for 11 minutes. You went to the mailbox, you came back, and your dog is greeting you like you survived a war, like you returned from somewhere they were never sure you'd come back from. People laugh at this, but there is nothing funny happening here. There is something profound. For your dog, every single departure carries the biological weight of, will they come back? Because in the wild, a mother who leaves and doesn't return means the end of everything. The relief your dog feels when you walk back through that door is not exaggerated. It is not performed. It is a deep, genuine, full-body release of tension that had been building since the moment you left. When you walk through that door, everything in them that was holding its breath exhales. That is what you mean to them. But watch what they do with their body in the first 3 seconds after you walk in. It goes back further than you think. They always need to give you something. You open the front door, and before you've taken a single step inside, your dog has already disappeared and come back with something in their mouth. A toy, a sock, a shoe. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that they needed to bring you something. This behavior puzzles a lot of owners, but the reason behind it is deeply rooted in pack biology. When a mother returns to the den, the young ones bring her things. It is a display of joy so overwhelming that their body needs to do something with it. The excitement has to go somewhere. Carrying an object calms the arousal just enough to make the greeting manageable. Your dog isn't giving you a gift. They are channeling pure joy into something their mouth can hold, because seeing you walk through that door is almost more than they can contain. And what they do when they hear one specific sound from another room, even mid-conversation, proves how deeply you're wired into their brain. They react to your name being said by someone else. You're on the phone in another room. Someone on the call says your name, just your name, in normal conversation. And from wherever your dog is in the house, you hear them get up. You hear the pause. They come to find you. Not because they heard a command, not because they heard their own name, because they heard yours. Your dog has learned your name the way a child learns their parent's name, not as a word that applies to them, but as a word that means the most important person, the one I need to locate, the one I track even through walls and distance and other people's voices. Your name, spoken by anyone in any context, is a sound that activates something in them that says, "Where are they? Are they okay? I should find them." You are so deeply mapped into their brain that even the sound of you being referenced pulls them toward you. But what they do in the middle of the night, while you're asleep and have no idea, is the one that stops people cold when they finally see it on camera. They check on you while you sleep. This one is deeply strange when you first see it. Set up a camera in your bedroom if you haven't already. What you'll find is this. Your dog, at some point in the night, usually between 2 and 4 a.m., gets up. They don't need water. They don't need to go outside. They walk to the side of your bed. They stand there for a moment, completely still, watching your face. Then they go back to their spot. This happens multiple times a night for dogs who have formed this level of bond. They are checking that you're breathing, that your chest is still rising and falling, that you're still there. Mother animals do nighttime checks. They move through the den in the dark, touching each sleeping young one with their nose. Your dog is doing the same thing, because in the architecture of their love, keeping you safe doesn't stop when the lights go off. And once you know what the direction of a tail wag actually means, you will never look at it the same way again. The wag has a direction, and it means something. Not all tail wags are the same. Most people treat a wagging tail as a single simple signal. Happy dog, done. But neuroscientists studying canine behavior discovered something that changed everything. When a dog sees someone they are deeply bonded to, their tail wags with a bias to the right side. When they encounter something unfamiliar or uncertain, it biases left. The right-biased wag is controlled by the left hemisphere of the brain, the same hemisphere that governs approach, attachment, and positive social engagement. Watch your dog's tail the next time you walk in. If it swings heavier to the right, you are seeing their brain's attachment center light up in real time. You are not just making them happy. You are activating the specific neural architecture that exists in them for love. But what your dog does every time a door opens, even when it isn't you, reveals how completely their entire day is built around your return. They are always waiting for you to come back. Someone else walks through the door, a family member, a neighbor, anyone, and your dog looks up, checks, and then settles back down. No excitement, no real reaction, just a check. They do this every single time the door opens, every single time, because every single time there is a chance it is you. For a dog who has adopted you as their mother figure, your return is not an event. It is the event, the thing their entire waiting day is organized around. The door is the portal through which you come back to them. So every time it moves, something in them lifts. And every time it isn't you, something quietly settles back down to wait again. They never stop checking. They never stop hoping. And when it finally is you, you already know what happens. Every moment of waiting releases all at once and you feel it before you even see their face. And the reason they follow you into every room, even when there's nothing there for them, goes back to something ancient most owners misread as clinginess. They follow you into rooms. They have no reason to enter. You get up to grab a glass of water. It takes 40 seconds. And before you've even reached the kitchen, you hear the soft click of paws behind you. You go to the bathroom, pause. You walk to a different room just to look for your phone, pause. Your dog has no reason to be in any of these places. There is nothing in the kitchen for them, nothing in the hallway. But they come anyway, every single time, without fail. People think this is clinginess. It isn't. A mother wolf never lets her youngest out of her line of sight during the first months of bonding. Not because she is anxious, but because proximity to them is the same as safety to her. Your dog is not following you because they have nothing better to do. They are following you because wherever you are is the only place that makes complete sense to them. You are their center of gravity. But when they finally settle beside you and go still, what they do next with the most vulnerable part of their body says everything. They rest their head on you without being invited. You're sitting on the couch. You didn't call them. You didn't pat your lap. You didn't make a single gesture. And then, slowly, quietly, you feel the weight of their head come down on your leg, or your foot, or your hand. Just the head. Heavy, warm, completely trusting. They didn't ask permission. They didn't wait to see if it was okay. They just placed the most vulnerable part of their body on you and closed their eyes. Think about what it takes to do that. To put your head down on someone without checking first, without any uncertainty. That level of trust doesn't come from training. It doesn't come from treats or commands or years of obedience work. It comes from one thing only, the absolute, unshakable belief that this person will never let anything happen to me. Your dog doesn't rest their head on just anyone. They rest it on their mother. And at night, over weeks and months, there's a movement happening so slowly you may not have noticed. Until now. They bring their sleeping spot closer to yours over time. Think back to when you first got your dog. Where did they sleep? Probably their bed, their crate, their corner of the room. Now think about where they sleep tonight. If this bond has fully formed, that distance has been closing, slowly, incrementally over months, without you ever making a decision about it. First, their bed moved closer to yours. Then they started sleeping on the floor right beside you. Then on the edge of your bed, then pressed against your legs. They did this on their own timeline, in their own way, without any instruction. Because for a dog who has adopted you as their mother figure, physical closeness during the most vulnerable hours of the day is not optional. It is a biological need. The closer they are to you when they sleep, the safer their nervous system feels. They didn't move closer because you invited them. They moved closer because they couldn't help it. And the last one, the one science finally measured, proves this bond isn't just emotional. It's written into their biology. The bond that science can now measure. This is the one that will stay with you long after this video ends. A landmark study tracking thousands of dog-human pairs over multiple years found a result that researchers themselves described as striking. Dogs with a single, stable, deeply bonded human, one person they had chosen as their primary safe figure, lived on average significantly longer than dogs without that bond, not because of diet, not because of exercise alone, because of the neurochemical environment that deep, consistent attachment creates. Oxytocin up, cortisol down, inflammation reduced, immune function improved. The body, when it feels loved and safe over a long period of time, simply holds together better. Your dog is not just emotionally attached to you. Your presence is chemically protective. Every day you come home, every time you sit with them, every sigh, every chin rest, every paw on your leg, you are not just making their life feel longer. You are actually making it longer, and they have been doing the same for you, whether you knew it or not, since the very first day they chose you. So here's what I want you to do right now. Count them. Go back through every sign in this video and count exactly how many your dog does. Be honest. Don't skip the ones that made you uncomfortable because they were too accurate. Then drop that number in the comments. Just the number, nothing else needed. Because I want to know. And I want every dog owner watching this to see that number sitting there. If it's over 10, your dog didn't just bond with you. They chose you completely. They adopted you. And they've been showing you every single day. You just finally know what you were looking at.